Hello, people. How you doing? We are waiting for our guests, but we're going to entertain you for the time being. And first of all, I like to say hi to everybody, including my two wonderful guests, James Proctor and the one, the only, the very famous Angel Gotti.
Hello.
So, so we had a nice amount of people waiting for this show to start, which we're glad about. And Maz is from MMA, and he should be here. Well, I talked to him this afternoon, but we'll see. I'm sure he's going to be here. So let's see who's here. Louis the Lion. Louis, you just keep sending me money. If you do not have money, don't send it. As greedy as I am, I don't want money from you if you do not have it. If you have it, I will take it. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Andy Bow, how you doing? Let's see who else is here. Boston Nick, how you doing, Boston? See, Louis the Lion, $10, guys. Please hit the button. Like Mr. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Renee, how you doing? Francis Fiordolini came in, dropped a little wise comment, and took off. I guess that's for the best. All right, Frankie boy. Okay, Garrett Johnson. Boy, I have not done a live in a month, Angel.
I can tell.
The truth. I'm like a rookie. I'm like Gravesend. I'm starting all over. I'm nervous, and Angel comes in and says, "Lee, you look nervous."
I did. I said you look
Timothy
nervous.
Sullivan, Victoria Young, how you doing? Let's see. I got to give some wrenches here.
Let me say hello to some people. Hi,
Yes.
Louie. Hi, Ange. Hello to La Grand Commission. Hi, David. Hi, Westies. Jane. There you are, James Proctor. Let's see. Renee, how are you? Renee Argo, Timothy Sullivan, SPK, Jen Silo, and there's my girl, Itty Bitty Nita.
Boy, Angel just took right over for me. You see that? She's so used to these lives. She's like a professional.
Oh, there's my Marla. Marla's here too.
And Marla, you're welcome to jump on anytime. You're like a part of the family. You can come up here and I'll smack the hair off your head.
Did you say hi to Jen Silo and Tony
Yes,
Silo?
I did.
Hello.
Well, you're not letting me get to it.
Well, you're going
trying
too
to take
slow.
over I go on your channel and try to take over your show. You come over here and try to take mine over. Okay. Does everybody like James' new background there?
Yes, I love it.
Marla, how you doing? See No Evil. Chai Hooker, how you doing? Let's see. Itty Bitty. Oh, and look who we got here. You were making us nervous, Maz.
Hi, Maz.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going?
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Wow, you have a sexy voice. Wow, look at you. Angel, my goodness.
It's the first
right
time
away, man. Right away.
Well, I mean, I moved from New York to Arizona, and it's a beautiful thing to hear that New York. Are you still in New York?
Yes.
Look at you. Gorgeous. My goodness. I might have to masturbate to this later. Is that weird?
Oh, my God.
Is that a little odd? Okay, I won't then. I promise I won't.
How's your wife?
She joins me in masturbation to other people. It's
my God. What did you get me involved in, Lee Cole? Hi, Boston.
He doesn't do this crap on his show.
Now you know what it feels like, Lee.
Yeah. Next time, I'm out of place. I'm not going to talk about masturbation on his show. But you know, Maz, you have a beautiful wife, and you do get some freaks in the chat there. I notice sometimes.
We do. Yeah, we get some real strange people. If they do pop into this chat, give them a second, give them a chance, because sometimes they need to warm up and then they're nice people, but some of them are a little off the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Maz, I was telling Angel, I don't know if you know this, but when I was on your show, you wind up getting Angel 200 new subs.
Really? Well, that's wonderful right there.
Wonderful.
Hey, listen, Angel, I got to say this. It's an honor to be here. I had the pleasure of meeting your brother and nephew during CES when we were doing press for them. And I tell you what, I was scared shitless because I was like, this is the Mafia. Like, what's going on here? Is that? But when I met John, he was such a nice guy, and I was like, well, what's going on here? Are you guys ruthless or are you guys sweethearts? I don't understand.
John, I'm my brother John's biggest fan. I am his biggest fan. He is a really great guy. I try to tell everybody, like, he's a really great man. I adore the ground my brother walks on.
I bet, because yeah, he was a complete sweetheart, very
He is.
respectful. And I mean, you know what was cool about it? Like the look in his eyes when we were asking him about his son and John the Third, and he was so happy for his son and so proud of his son. And it was like, man, this is really cool. Like I have 2 young kids, and you know, one day hopefully I could be as happy about my kids as well. And John the Third doing big things. It's a crazy situation going on in your family.
He has 6 kids.
Wow, 6
He has
kids.
6, yeah, and he's very, very close with his kids.
All the same mother, same wife?
Yeah, he has the same the first his only since they were kids. They're together.
That's beautiful. Wow, look
Yes.
at that. I got another question for you. I don't want to take over the show, but
Oh, no, I like it.
No,
I
go
love
right
this.
ahead.
doing
I
that.
love this, man. I'm just going to sit back and listen. Take over.
Okay, I got to ask you this question. I got hard-hitting questions here. Do you mind answering?
No.
Okay.
If it's like about mob stuff, I don't know about that stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
she does. She's lying.
No, I really don't. No, I mean, you could try. I'll
Maz,
answer.
she's the toughest Gotti in the damn family.
I bet. I bet. Not only are you very sexy sounding, but you're very tough too. This is very arousing here. The movie that was made,
Yes.
with Travolta. Okay.
Yes.
I want to know your honest opinion about this movie.
That's my favorite movie. I love that movie. It's about 85% accurate.
Okay.
It's the most accurate out of all the movies that were made. And I love that movie.
Now, when you heard that John Travolta was going to be involved in something like this, like what was going on with the family? We were like, this is amazing, right?
Oh, forget it. See, don't forget in the very beginning, it was Sylvester Stallone who was going to be involved in it. And I didn't think that was good at all.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
would have been weird.
I didn't think that would be a good one. So when I heard it was John Travolta, I was really happy. And I tell everyone, John Travolta is the nicest man I have ever met in my entire life. I don't think I'll ever meet a nicer man than him till the day I die. He and his wife and his children, beautiful, beautiful people. So yeah, I love John Travolta.
Wow. And do you guys keep in touch still with?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's
My
pretty
brother
cool.
and John Travolta became good friends. Yes. And my deceased ex-husband, he and John Travolta were very good friends. They would
Oh.
text and call each other all the time. In fact, when he died, John Travolta called me and stood on the phone with me and made me feel so much better.
Did you want to do a duet with him, a little Grease Lightning or anything like
No.
that?
No,
Maz,
he
what's your
really is
opinion?
a
What-
wonderful man. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm not just saying it. He really is like the nicest man I have ever met in my life.
It's crazy how talented he is, right? Like if you think about it, like
Extremely.
he was so typecasted, and then all of a sudden Quentin Tarantino puts him in that Pulp Fiction movie, and then everything
Yeah.
reignited with the guy. It's crazy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Maz,
sorry,
what did you think of the movie, Maz?
Oh, well, all right.
A
Well,
lot of people like the listen, truthfully, I know your answer already. A lot of people like the 96 one with Armand Desante, and Armand Desante is also a wonderful man as well. But the Armand Desante movie is not accurate. It's not
Okay.
accurate at all. So I only watched I watched it a long time ago when it first came out. I didn't like it. And then like recently, about a year ago, I put it on and I watched 20 minutes of it and I shut it off.
no kidding. Yeah, it's got to be really strange, right? Like, I mean, even accurate or not accurate, it's still got to be really weird, right? To watch a movie that's about your family, right?
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
It is. To
Interesting.
me, the documentary was was the most accurate of anything that's ever been done about my family. And
So-
that
Which
was
documentary was that?
Gotti, Godfather and Son.
I got to go watch this. Where is this? This was this like HBO or something or
A&E.
A&E?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was really fat then.
I'm not going to follow up. You mentioned your ex-husband. How many times have you been married?
I'm third, 3 times.
Congratulations.
And
That's
they all did, and whenever
This
she
is
got
the
divorced,
longest.
whenever she got divorced, they disappeared.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm married 13 years.
13 years. Wow. So you got divorced twice. I got divorced once myself. So I get it. And Lee
Okay.
Cole, this guy runs through women like socks. So, you know, so we get it. We understand. But how does that work? Right. I mean, getting divorced is a horrible thing. But when it's the Gotti family, I mean, that's the last thing you want to do. Right. I mean, I don't know. Was he terrified?
Well, Louis and I were married. We have 2 children together, and I did not tell this. I've told this story before. That's the only time I ever lied to my father in my entire life, was why I was getting divorced. So I would not tell him why. I just kept telling him I don't love him. I don't love him. I don't love him anymore. And he found that very hard to believe, but I wouldn't tell him. And thank God I didn't, because we ended up becoming best friends. We were always very close, and he died in my house.
Oh my God.
So, we were very close, and that's the best decision I ever made in my life, was not to tell my family why I was getting divorced.
Mhm. Wow.
Angel, you got to tell Maz the story about the guy that you were on a blind date with, that you told us the other day. It's funny as hell, Maz.
Oh, I don't think that's funny
Oh,
at
it's
all.
funny. Please tell it.
When I meet people, well, back then, I would not tell them my real name. I would either tell them my name was Denise or Debbie. I never told them my name, because you didn't know if people liked you or not liked you, or they were afraid or whatever it was. I just would not tell them in the beginning. And I would feel out like a couple of dates. And so I went on a date, and this guy was really nice, and I liked him. He was nice. And we were in a restaurant in Brooklyn, and somebody came into the restaurant, and I recognized him, but I didn't know who the person was. When you see somebody and you're like, wow, that guy looks so familiar. Well, my date and him knew each other. So he got up and they went outside, and then he came back, and he took the napkin off the table and started wiping his forehead. And and he's like, you lied to me. Why didn't you tell me, your real name? Why didn't you tell me who your father is? I was like, well, why? What's the big deal? Does that bother you? He said, I have to tell you, I'm married.
Ooh.
And I got so mad, because it hit me. It was like, when something like it hit me so hard. Like, wait a second. So if my father wasn't my father, you were just gonna never tell me?
Oh my
You would you piece of garbage.
Yeah, tell them about the following day when they found the guy in a trunk.
They
Oh my God.
did not. I left. My friend lived a few blocks away. She came and picked me up and drove me back home.
Wow. Dude, oh
Yeah.
my God. That's good. So there was a time though that you were like, you know what? I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I want to get to know these people before the big
Exactly.
reveal. And
I met a man one night when we were in a restaurant. I was with a few friends, and we ended up sitting there. He sat next to me, and we talked the whole night, and he was really nice. And he's like, listen, what are you doing Saturday? And it didn't hit me. I was just like, I don't know why. And he says, listen, I'm going to a wedding Saturday. If you'd like to come, come to the wedding with me. All of a sudden it hit me. I said, oh, where's the wedding? He says, at the Sands. I was like, uh-oh. And I was in the bridal party for my cousin at the Sands. And he was going to be at the wedding. So I just said, "Oh no, I can't," and I never saw him again.
Oh my God. That's wild.
Oh,
Wow.
I have
Nobody
a
ever
whole
saw him
bunch of
again.
stories. I have to tell them one night when I'm on. I have to tell people some of the
Oh, I
funny
would, man,
stories.
I would spend 5 hours listening to that stuff. My father-in-law is like obsessed, like with mafia stuff, especially like just obsessed with all that stuff. So when he found out that his daughter was going to marry a New York guy, it was like it's like all New Yorkers have some sort of connections, and I'm like, no, it's not the case. Not me. Not me. But I was, as a kid, I always like it was. I lived in Middle Village, and then I moved to Howard Beach.
Oh, really? That's where
Yeah.
we still live there.
Are you in Howard Beach?
Not me, my mom. Yeah, my brothers. Yeah,
Same
my
house,
sister-in-law.
Maz. Same house.
Same
Wow.
house. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. I knew that
Yeah.
the family was still around, but I wasn't sure like who was still there. And
Yeah, 48 years.
wow, look at that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when I started running into like interesting things as a kid. And I was starting fights with people I shouldn't have started fights with. And I had
Really? Well, how old are you?
I'm 46.
Oh, you're a baby. I think you're this around. Oh, you're a little younger than my brother Peter.
How old's your
Yeah.
wife, Maz?
Oh, my wife's 19 years younger than me, Lee.
Oh, wow.
I took her right out of the cradle and married her.
Wow.
You know, your show's kind of. I noticed since the second child was born, your show's kind of went down a little bit.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. Yeah, no, I was a fucking renegade. Like, I would show up at events and do crazy shit. And I had a very toxic chat that I would send and harass people. And then my wife came in and she just neutered everyone, including me. And that's for the better. It's definitely for the better. And then once we had a kid, now I'm always exhausted and I just don't even want to stream. And but I still love my
How
job.
many kids do you have?
Just 2. Yeah, we just had a son a couple weeks back.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Yeah, I
Maz-
appreciate it.
And Maz, how did you meet your wife, if you don't mind me knowing?
OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. No, she had a vlogging channel and she would be here now, but she's stuck with our infant. I try to get her to come on because especially with Angel being here, she would definitely get a kick at it. But I'm sure she's listening. So Jesse, if you're listening.
Oh, hi, Jesse.
Yeah, she's a fan of she watches on Netflix Mafia specials and stuff like. I feel like she's just gonna stuff me in a trunk one day, the way all the stuff that she watches. But she had a vlogging channel and she was on YouTube and I was like, well, she's an attractive young lady. I'm gonna use her to get donations. So I
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I'm I brought her aboard. She was in our chat. Everyone knew that she was she's a very talented person, but she just was trying to find her lane with YouTube. And she came aboard and all of a sudden she just like kind of stuck with the MMA community. She really got into it. And she's very talented. Like when it came to play by play and interviews and when we would do events, like when we were at CES with your brother and those guys, like we got a chance to interview them. And Jesse was just like right in the mix. And I was like, wow, I asked her, do you want to do MMA content? Just saying she's a pretty face. This would be fun. And then it just turned into her being super talented. And then we had sex and now we're married.
Oh my God.
I'd like to say one thing, people. Maz here, his show is called MMA Holes. There's a link underneath
MMA holes.
Yeah. So MMA dash holes, like MMA holes. It's a weird name. My father told me to change it. But I said no. And here we are 7 years later. And it's the best move I ever made. People remember it,
Are you number one in the area of your type of contents where you call the fights?
So we were, but now what happened is like a lot of people saw the secret sauce and they figured out other ways to grow their channels very quick. I still think we are number one with premium fight commentary.
They're easily the best. I looked at them. They're boring as hell, even the ex-fighters.
Yeah, like we try to do that radio style commentary. We try to paint that picture so you know exactly what's happening without even having to pay for the pay-per-views. And here's my wife over here. She's trying to come in. How dare you, Jesse?
Hello, Jess. How are you? She is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, especially next to me. She looks fantastic. Thank God love is blind. Angel, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, believe me, I know.
You got to see her husband Lewis was like about 6 foot, real handsome Italian guy. You know, I think
Really?
John Gotti went and said, "Look, you're marrying her, whether you like it or not."
No, that's not true.
Oh my God. I would love to be a fly on the wall during like Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, you know, when you're popping around and everything like that. Like that must have been something else.
It was the best.
Yeah.
Really, truly the best. I mean, we still have great holidays together. We're very close, my brothers and my sister and my mom, and we all still get together for the holidays. All our kids are, now we have grandchildren. I have 2 grandchildren. My sister has 2, and my brother John has 2 now.
Wow.
So
Isn't that
we
great?
all still get together.
And where's the house? Where do you guys go? Do you go to like?
My sister has a big house, and my brother John has a big house, so we'll go back and forth between my brother John and my sister's house.
Cool. And by the way, I'm a little distracted here. James, is he a mute? Like, what's going on with James over there? Who's this guy?
We don't know.
Is he all right? Oh, he looks like someone.
No, I'm just trying to man the chat.
Okay.
Just trying to keep track of that. So how are you doing, though? I appreciate you
James.
coming to the show, Chris.
Thank you, James. Yeah, it's nice to meet you, man.
Hi, Teresa. Hi, Real Deal. I'm
So-
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we got some people that want to ask you some questions here, but I'm going to ask you that show that just happened. I personally think that's one of the best shows in years.
UFC 290.
Yes,
It was phenomenal. Yeah, it was.
unbelievable.
If you've never watched MMA before, like turn on that from top to bottom. It was just out of control. It was beautiful.
And you know what's funny about that fight, that card? As soon as you think something's wrong in the UFC, it's going downhill. Something like that will happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been a little down lately. Like it's been a little lull, and then that card hit it right out of the park, and we're back in business again.
I want to ask you a question. What do you think? And I think this is like really what's really hurting the sport. You notice that lately a lot of decisions have been really bad.
Yeah.
What do you think about judges being at ringside when the odds of the fighters are coming up on the TV screen? And these guys are sitting there and they're judging the fights and they see what the odds are.
All right. So there's a couple of things. I do think judging is bad. I think boxing judging is even way worse, but MMA is getting there. It's getting pretty bad. There's a couple of things where I'm going to be like, I guess, devil's advocate, or I don't know. When I rewatch fights, I see a different thing. Like a lot of times when I'm in the moment, and especially when we're doing play-by-play and we're live, we got 1,000 people watching or whatever, and it's like out of control. Like I'm in the moment, I'll either have money on a guy or I'm rooting for a guy or whatever. And I see things a certain way and I'm like, this is a robbery. This is nonsense. This is a joke. A lot of the times when I go back and watch these fights, I kind of start scratching my head and saying, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't disagree. Maybe I do disagree with the judge, but I kind of understand where they're coming from. The problem is MMA scoring is a mess. It's a hot mess. And people are scoring things differently. People are seeing things differently. As human beings, we all see things differently, and they don't know how to score these fights. Is control?
Why is that?
At least with boxing, you're punching each other and we're done. But with the UFC, it's like you're taking them down. You're laying on the guy. Are you active enough? Are you going for submissions? Are you putting on damage? Are you like? There's so many factors. And MMA adopted the 10-point scoring system like boxing, but it's a different sport. So they need to change the way they score these fights, in my opinion. I don't think it's all the judges' fault. Yes, there's bad judging, but I think it's more of they have to switch it up.
And you got a great point there because I rewatched the Volk fight, the close fight he had with the guy who was bigger than him.
Islam,
yeah. And I thought Volk won it by listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it, and I thought that he won it.
Yeah. Well, in real time, I did think Islam won during the fights. And that's when we had Mike Goldberg on actually too, and he thought Islam won as well. But yeah, like if you go back and watch fights, even if you like, it's weird. Sometimes with the commentary, sometimes without the commentary, you'll see a totally different fight. I
think if Volk fights him again, Volk will beat him because he's a better fighter when he fights somebody the second time.
It's not impossible. It isn't impossible. I still lean towards Islam because He bangs sheep and stuff.
Well,
Oh my God.
You were pissing your wife off the other day at the expense of Angel's nephew, and I'm going to tell her how. Okay,
yeah, let's go there. Yeah.
Okay, Angel, he looks like a nice guy, but I'm going to tell you what he was doing. Okay, so they were fighting, right? And his wife's calling the fight, and he keeps interfering, and he's going like this. Gotti hits him to the left, the right. Mayweather's in trouble. Mayweather's in trouble. And your wife was getting so pissed at you.
Yeah. So my wife thought that Floyd Mayweather beat the shit out of John the 30. She didn't give him any rounds. She was just like, this is ridiculous, right? And I, on the other hand, I was timing people out in my chat for saying anything negative about the Gotti family. I was like, if you say anything negative in my chat, I will kick you out of my stream. And I was very upset and offended and triggered. So I defended the honor of your nephew, whereas my wife is a backstabber, and I apologize to her.
Oh man,
I think that's so funny. Listen, I had my own friends. People who I thought were my friends were backstabbing me on YouTube as well. Listen, Tony Silo, who's a friend of mine, all we said was that we just wanted my nephew to get the chance to go to the 8th round. That's it. We never thought that he was going to knock him out. We never thought that, anything drastic was going to happen and he was going to win. We just wanted him to. I said it like a month before the fight. Everybody kept saying all these things, and all I kept saying is I just want him to go the 8 rounds. That's it. Just go to the 8th round. But I'll tell you one thing. Backstabbing on here, people that I thought were my friends, I don't know if they did it to antagonize me or whatever it was, but some of the things that they said, forget it. Listen, That's my nephew. I'm going to defend my nephew. I didn't watch the fight. I was inside. My daughter was in the living room, right, in front of the TV. I was in the back bedroom in the dark all by myself praying. I just kept praying and talking to my father and saying, Daddy, please, watch over him. Don't let anything happen to him, over and over again. I just kept repeating it. And then I'm listening to my daughter, and my daughter's yelling, and she's like, Mom, the more they chant Gotti, Gotti, the madder Mayweather is getting. And I thought she was exaggerating. But then when I got to watch the fight on my channel, then I saw, what he was doing. He was getting mad every time they were chanting.
Yeah.
So, but now listen, there's going to be a rematch. Let's see what happens now. And a different referee, I hear.
Oh, is there going to be a different ref?
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a different referee.
And you heard it here from a Gotti.
Yes. Yeah, they're just working on the date. They're trying to get a certain date, and they're going back and forth with the dates. That's it.
Where do they want to do the match?
I can't tell. I can't tell yet.
It won't be Florida, though.
No, it won't be Florida.
Huh.
No.
What did you think about the pregnant woman performing? What did you think about that?
I thought that all the talent was disgusting. Oh, no, I'm dead serious. I was embarrassed. I really was. My daughter, my daughter's young. She's, she loved all that hip hop stuff, and she thought it was so tasteless. All the talent was tasteless.
That was weird. That was like out of left field.
Very strange, but that was, that's the Mayweather Entertainment.
Mm-hmm. My God.
Productions, I think it's called Mayweather Productions or something.
What was the deal with the? Oh, sorry. Did you want to
go for it?
No, the company that did the pay-per-view. I'd never heard of them before. Had you? And it was only $15, I believe. And so, was that a Mayweather company or?
Yes, that's a company that Mayweather is trying to, put on the map. But it was terrible because a lot of people. Mine kept spinning. Mine would stop and then start spinning. Buffering, yes.
Yeah. People were on, I guess.
A lot of people were complaining. So I would we canceled it the next day. I think we canceled it that night.
I tell you what, my illegal stream worked great. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Of course I paid. Why would I not pay for that? But I'm curious. So and he got paid up front, correct?
Yeah, my brother's no dummy.
Smart. Yeah, it's really smart.
Yeah, my brother is no dummy. Yeah, he got paid before that fight.
So, it's weird. Like, and I was talking to Lee about this when he jumped on our channel. By the way, I reached out to your brother to come on afterwards, but I don't know if he responds on Instagram. I don't know how that works. No, huh?
Your best, if you ever want to reach my brother, reach me and I'll reach him.
All right. Fair enough.
He couldn't find his Instagram if his life depended on it.
Oh, really?
My brother does not have, it does not go on the internet. He has a flip phone. He does not want a phone with the internet on it. Nothing. He has zero interest in the internet.
Smart. It's smart.
Yes, very, very smart.
You unplug from all this nonsense. There's so much less stress in your life, right?
Exactly. He knows nothing that goes on the internet anyway.
Yeah, good for him. He's got everything he needs in the real world.
Exactly. He said, I need a phone to make phone calls and get phone calls. That's it.
There you go. Yeah, it's
Maz, what's your opinion of Dana White? Your honest opinion.
Dana White. All right. Well, I've always been pro Dana, but lately I've been hard on him. I think he's getting old, and I think he's getting a little too full of himself. Like forcing power slap down UFC fans' throats, and there's a lot of things he's trying to do to get younger with his audience, which I think is good. But I feel I as a fan, I feel like I'm getting force fed a lot of stuff that I don't need. Like, I just want to enjoy the UFC for what it is, their product. And I feel like there's a lot of other nonsense that they're shoving in my face.
Keep it like it was last week.
What's that?
Good competitive fights.
Yeah. I mean, that last card was nuts. But that's a product of like, you have an event every weekend, you're going to have duds. This weekend, this Saturday's card is a mess, But that's what happens. You load up one card and then you have all these crazy other cards that are just a waste of time.
Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
Do you know who Hector Lombard is?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I have balls of steel. I'll walk up to anyone and interview anyone. He is one guy that scared the shit out of me. I was in Long Island for Triton fights, and I saw him cage side. We were doing press, and I was like, I'm going to talk to this guy. And we locked eyes, and I literally shit in my pants.
Are you kidding? We're very close with Hector. Hector is a doll.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Hector is a real doll, a real sweetheart.
Yeah, we had a brief back and forth on DMs because we were supposed to interview him not too long ago, and it was awkward. So I was like, all right, listen, this guy's gonna kill me. I have no idea what's going on, so I backed off. But I would like to talk.
I'm gonna ask Hector to come on. The thing is, if Hector comes on, he might get me demonetized.
He's pretty wild, right?
Yeah, he's a big Trump supporter, and he doesn't hold back on anything.
Yeah,
and I mean anything.
Oh, I would love to interview him for sure, man. He's a legend. That guy's been around forever.
Oh, he's great.
Angel,
he's great. I'll tell him that you want to interview him.
No, Angel doesn't tell him. Ask him. She tells him.
Well, yeah. Ask him. Tell him.
You're going on Maz's show. That's it.
I like how Angel works. I like this. This is pretty cool.
Hector is a really, really, really very dear friend of. He's very close with my cousins. They call each other like brothers. That's how close he is with my cousins. And he loves my family. We love him. He's a great, great person.
And where's your nephew training at? Is he still training out of Long Island?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Who would have thought he would have fought Floyd Mayweather? I mean, like it still baffles my mind that
still baffles his.
What is it? Give me something behind the scenes with John III. Like, he's like, what the hell is going on here? How the hell did I get myself wrapped up with this?
Yeah, no, this is like a dream come true to him. He was very disappointing. The outcome. He was very disappointed. He didn't expect that. He no matter what, people don't understand that, he's only fought 2 professional boxing matches. That was his 3rd. That was a big crowd. He must have been very, very nervous walking out. Excuse me. And I think he did pretty good. He didn't end up on the floor.
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get any bruises on his face. He looked perfectly fine afterwards. So it's still like I saw him after the fight, about a week after the fight, and we were talking, and he said, "Aunt Angel, I never expected that. Like I didn't expect it." He goes, "Now I'm ready." He goes, "For the rematch, now I know. Now I'm ready."
Talk about a big bag now, right? I mean, you got that
Oh yeah,
whole
because what happened is that I think it was like 15 minutes after the fight. They were in the locker. My brother and Mayweather were together in the locker room. Like I think they said it was a half hour after the fight. They were in there negotiating for a rematch.
Wow. Yeah,
There was apologies, went back and forth, and then they were negotiating because it was the number one Google search in the world. Was that fight, not the country, the world.
and it's an exhibition, which is mind blowing. Like that's
Exactly.
crazy. That's absolutely crazy that they were able to pull that off. And listen, the best thing that happened was the brawl. Like that's the best thing that could have happened. Because honestly, if the fight just went down, it just would have vanished. But
Right.
the brawl, everyone was talking about. We were doing shows about it. Ariel was doing shows. Everyone was doing shows.
So many people gained so many views because of that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? We got more views live when the brawl happened. Like the brawl happened, and then everyone was flooding our channel. Like, what's going on? And I'm like,
That's
okay.
what happened. Exactly.
I had a short up. I had a short up on John the Third. The following day, I picked up 20,000 views on it overnight.
It's crazy, huh?
And it was an old one, just out of the blue.
Yeah, even my show after the night after the fight has, I think, 11 or 12,000 views on that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, it's crazy, huh? Such a wacky dude. So when it happened, though, the first thing I thought, all right, so I thought it was fake as fuck in the beginning, right? I was like, this is crazy, man. Like
everybody did. No,
it
wasn't.
Nonsense, right?
You should have seen our houses, our houses.
So what did you think, though? Like, I mean, I'm sure it's not fake, right? But like when you were watching, you were like, is this a setup or did you know?
Happened? No, what happened is my daughter was in here. Like I said, I wouldn't watch it. I was in the back bedroom, like sitting.
Okay.
I was praying, and then all of a sudden she goes, "Mom, Mom, there's a riot." I said, "What?" I come running out. I look at the TV, and all I see is my brother John. And I started screaming. Like, I just saw my brother John, all these people, and they're all coming towards him. I thought he was going to get squashed. I thought he was going to get hurt. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing my little nephews in the ring, too. I'm like, oh, my God, what the hell is going on? And I didn't know where my son was. My son was at the fight. You just start going into panic mode. I'm thinking there's going to be a riot in there. This is why my brother never wants the women at the fights. For that reason alone, my brother, my son was like, but my wife wants to go. I said, Uncle John doesn't want any of the women there. Don't bring your wife there. So all the women got together and went out to eat. They were all in Florida. And, but that's the reason why, is because of things like that. And I was like in a state of shock, but then I got mad when I saw Mayweather laughing on the ropes, like jumping up and down, like this was funny to him. I didn't think that was funny at all.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, especially now watching it back, I think Floyd's wheels were turning, like, oh, we can sell this.
Yes, exactly what happened.
Yeah. The businessman that he is. All right, when the smoke settles, let's talk numbers.
Yes, that's what happened. He thought it was great.
Dude, what about that woman that was getting? Did you see the woman in the? I don't know who this girl is.
Jocelyn Hernandez. I watched it yesterday. As a matter of fact, policeman leaked the footage. Oh, I couldn't believe what happened there. I could not believe that.
This is the woman that got like her top ripped off and everything, or is that the same one we're talking about here?
I'm talking about the woman who ripped her top off.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, stomping on it. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, wow, that's bad. It was bad.
Yeah,
that's part of the fight.
Yeah, I was like, let me see these titties. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my
God. Let me see those. That was nuts, man. So she's like a reality star or something like that, or? I don't know
Yeah,
who she is.
she is. I
Okay.
used to watch her on Love and Hip Hop.
Gotcha. Loving it. You watch Love and Hip Hop? I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Oh yeah, I was a big. That's how I know who Cardi B is from Love and Hip Hop.
So back in the day, did you hit the clubs and stuff like that? Were you a crazy woman?
No,
No.
my father was very, very strict.
No, she's
Okay.
crazy now.
Now,
No, I went to clubs after, when I was older, after I got divorced, then I did, but not a lot of clubs,
Mhm.
but I did go, here
Yeah.
and there, but no, I wasn't like a crazy woman, no.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean,
know?
I was Denise, don't forget.
Hey, Maz, do you know
Denise
that?
was okay.
Do you know that Angel wears her father's 5-carat ring?
really?
I do not.
Yes, she does. She wears it on her
I
thumb.
do not.
Her
I do
fingers are as
not.
big as her father's.
No, I do not. I do not.
I was like, all right.
I wear my father's suits.
Oh man. The whole family seems like everyone's got their own like personality and like everyone's got their own thing going on with you guys, right? Like
Yeah.
it was wild when I met your nephew. I couldn't believe what a sweet young man this guy is. And the first thing he said to us when we were doing the interview is like, listen, I don't want any attachments to the family name. He's like, I just want to be my own person, build my own path in fighting. And I actually really respected that from him. I was like, you know what? And then what does he do? He uses the name and fights Floyd Mayweather. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke. No, but
I know.
but seriously though, like
He is a good boy. I try to tell everybody
Okay.
that as well. Like they a few people on here, like ripped him to shreds, making fun of him, and they wish they could have a son as good as that kid is. They only wish that you could have a son like that.
yeah, like what a good head on his shoulders, good looking guy too. This guy's like a
Yes.
bodybuilder and everything. And he's just doing his thing. That's it. I had a
Exactly.
girl that went to school with him hit us up in a comment section. And when we do our streams, we're horsing around, we're joking around, we're having fun.
Mhm.
And I kept on saying how much of a nice guy he is. I have on our channel interviews, like clipped interviews of just us and him, talking about the CES fights and everything. And I have nothing but nice things to say, but she was shitting on me, tearing me apart, saying, "Oh, have some respect for him." And I'm like, I have nothing but respect for this kid, man. Like this kid is doing his thing. Like it's impressive.
That was Angel.
Yeah.
There was that
No,
Angel.
no. See, my nephew, Johnny was the type. He didn't go to clubs. Johnny never really went out to clubs and stuff like that. Johnny got into working out very young, and that was his. That was his thing. That's what he did. He's very strict, with himself. He's very disciplined, is the word.
Mhm.
Like even I was upset because it was Christmas Eve one year and he was fighting in January and he would not cheat for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. He would not cheat. Not
Wow.
zero. So he and his girlfriend that he has now is his is his first girlfriend and they're gonna probably get engaged very soon.
Good for him. Congrats. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So Johnny was not the type to go to clubs and stuff like that. He's
That,
a good I'm telling you, such a good kid. That kid is a really good kid.
yeah, it's a shame with that the nonsense after the fight and everything like that. Now people are
Yeah.
trying to paint a picture like he's some sort of
Yeah,
other guy. It's not.
exactly. No,
Yeah.
he's a good kid.
Is that the first time you ever seen him act like that, Angel? Get that mad?
Yes. Yes, I've never seen him. He's 30 years old. I've never seen him like that ever.
Were you worried about like I was cracking Bronx Tale jokes? I'm like, oh, like it reminded me of like, all right, we're going here. It looks like it's gonna be a race war about to go down. Like, was that a worry?
No, not at
Yeah, I was a
all.
little nervous about this.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good.
Because don't forget, my brother and Mayweather were friends for a long time. They know each other a long time.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well,
wasn't
now that they're
worried.
doing the second fight, I mean, that's out the window for sure. Yeah. Crazy man, that's nuts. Do you think they're
Yeah.
gonna fight again? Like actual fight after the fight again, or are we gonna do this clean?
Oh
this-
no, I think they're going to. There's definitely a rematch. I just the date is sketchy right now.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't you love it, Maz? Wouldn't you love to see them do MMA?
Oh, I mean, dude, Mayweather would die.
I was just gonna say
it
that.
would
Yes,
be,
he
it would be
would.
phenomenal, though.
Yes,
Yeah,
it would. It
Picture
would.
being put to sleep.
Why is John? Why is he doing boxing? Is it because of his father? Because right? Like,
No, it's because of the Mayweather fight.
oh, so this was like the goal.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. This is
interesting.
because of the Mayweather fight.
See, I have the same question as you, Maz, because once Joe Rogan blew him up, this is just my opinion. I think he should have stayed with MMA.
Yeah,
Joe-
well, Dana White did too. Dana White tweeted about my nephew. And
that's like Maz's dream is for Joe Rogan to shout him out, right?
Nah, he could suck a dick. I don't care about Joe. I don't even care. I don't know. Like, I'd rather be a small YouTube channel than kiss anyone's ass like that. You know, like I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't care about him. But
I gotta do that.
Megilla Gorilla says that the most annoying voice is Angel Gotti.
what? I'm about to beat off to this voice. What is this person saying? Is this in the chat?
Megilla Gorilla, yeah, that's Megilla Gorilla does not like me. So this person goes into everybody's chat and will say the most annoying voice ever is Angel Gotti.
Hey, chat, you got some wrenches in there. You shouldn't even let that guy get through.
Yeah, that person.
Oh, who cares?
What are you gonna do?
Oh, he says my voice is like Fran Drescher. I take that as a compliment, you moron.
No, I just told her. Yeah, I just told her when Angel gets mad at me, she comes on and goes, Lee Cole at the top of her lung. My dog probably runs underneath the bed and hides.
I tell you, I love the accent because, like, I'm in Arizona, so it's like we got the yeehaws going on over here. I'm like, anytime I hear a New York accent, I'm like, thank God, you know, like I feel like I'm at home again. It's crazy.
Why don't you tell Angel your Ronnie One Arm story?
I'm afraid, man. I don't want to keep telling that story.
Well, she knows Ronnie One Arm.
I know Ronnie. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, so I wonder. I don't know if I want to say this guy's name. The guy that worked for him. He's a real sleazebag. This guy.
Yeah. Then don't say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably Angel's neighbor.
That's the last thing I need.
I might have dated him. Nah, I'm only kidding. I really am only kidding. I never dated anybody who knew my father.
Well, Angel, the reputation on Angel is she only dated people from the Colombo family.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's not true either. But yeah, so if it's a bad story, I don't know if
it's not a bad story.
A bad story about Ronnie?
No, not about him. It was the guy that worked for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just like I got into a fight in a club and there was a guy that was stealing airbags for Ronnie One Arm. So I didn't know who this guy was. I had no idea who he was. But I found out afterwards when he was on top of me screaming in my face, do you know who I work for? I'm like, what the fuck is it?
I hate people like that.
This guy was nuts. Like, this guy was out of his mind. And we got kicked out of the club. And I didn't give a fuck. Like, you know, you're young, you're in your 20s. You know, you think you could beat anyone up. So I was just like, whatever. I was defending this girl that he was abusing, this guy. And, you know, I had enough. So we went at it. And when we got dragged out of the club, this guy was threatening my life. He was threatening everything. I was like, fuck off, right? Like, and I'm going to the car and I see the bouncers are like walking away from this guy. So now I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is this guy, right?
I don't like people like that.
Yeah, the bouncers were shook. Like,
yeah, I don't like that. I don't like people like that. I never once in my entire life did I ever say, do you know who my father is? Never one time. My friends used to beg me, like we would be waiting online, you know, to go into somewhere and they would say, please, please. No, we're going to wait online just like everybody else. I never once ever said that to anyone. So when people do that, I can't stand it.
Yeah, but when Angel walked down the streets in Howard Beach, she never noticed like the people all moving.
No, they never
like Moses walking across the waterway.
That's not true. They never did that. No. So
she never noticed when she walked into restaurants.
What's that first name?
She always got
should I say? I feel my cousin. So my cousin had to threaten this guy. My cousin was someone that, you know, kind of just knew, you know, that whole clique and everything like that. So he threatened him. He was like, dude, just stop. You know, because this guy was coming after me and shit. I'm like, what's up with this dude, right? I'll say his name. His first name was John, which doesn't really narrow it down, but that's all I'm going to say right there. It
I'm
was.
just curious if he's a rat now.
I mean, this guy. I'm telling you, this guy was. He was known as like the scum. Like this guy was like. I have a feeling he was doing all the dirty stuff. Like this guy was a. I don't know. He had like dead. Like you look him in the eyes and you saw like nothing there. This guy was. You can
It's
tell.
not
he was,
John A-Light, is it?
I don't know. I don't know his last name. Wait, John A-Light.
Was
Is
he,
he a tall?
was he like a midget?
Well, how old is John A-Light? I don't even know who John A-Light
No,
is.
John A-Light's like 60.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely not him. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, Steve Maz, you're lucky because what's the name of those those young guys that were around Ronnie One Arm, that gang? Do you remember?
Yeah.
We should change the subject. I'm about to get whacked right now, Lee.
Yeah, let's change the
Well,
subject.
several of those guys wind up going down to Florida and murdering some people. And when they all got arrested, you know what they did? They all flipped.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That's why I'm curious.
Yep.
Did he become a rat?
Yeah,
Somebody who says, "Do you know who usually became a rat?"
And Ronnie One Arm wound up in
Young
prison.
Guns, I can't remember the other name that they were. I can't remember.
So what's going on now? Like with anything Mafia, is there like a Mafia going on now? Like I'm so not knowing what's going on with the Mafia world.
It's in Angel's Kitchen, the Mafia.
Oh, okay. Locked into the basement somewhere.
I don't follow any of that. Nothing. I don't. The only time I ever listen to anything is if Lee Cole puts up a good one. Other than that, no, I don't follow it. I don't care. I don't want to know.
Angel, is it
I
weird?
have zero interest in that genre.
It's still around, but it's you gotta understand now that there's cameras everywhere. It's people have other opportunities. They don't have to go into that life, and the neighborhoods aren't as contained. Everyone's spread out now in Long Island, different places. So you just don't. I mean, you still have it, obviously, but it's more contained. They're not killing people. They'll put them on the shelf instead, which is it's just a lot different now because they don't want the attention.
And James, how are you locked into all this? You just kind of document this stuff, or have you killed some people? You look like a.
Well, his nickname online is Spree Killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has a fantasy baseball team that he names Spree Killers.
Really?
Did you really?
Yes. Texas
Oh, you
Spree
did?
Killer. Yes.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
No, I just Lee and I, just had an interest in this genre, and I've been doing stuff with him. We have the wrestling show as well, so that's kind of how I met Lee.
He makes me look smart, Maz, just like your wife makes you look smart.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just as attractive as my wife too. I think he's going to turn me gay. Do you ever get worried, like if you cover a specific story in the Mafia world? Do you ever get worried, like maybe I shouldn't be talking about this?
No, not really, because we usually don't.
Yeah. I've had my life threatened many
Guys,
times.
yeah.
Huh.
I get some really. You got to see some of the emails I get.
Really? So you?
Yeah. When I get those emails, I get a boner. You kidding me? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, there's emails and stuff, but I mean, nothing happened, but I mean, people get upset.
You know what's funny, Maz? The worst I ever got scared was when an ex-MMA fighter sent me a picture of my house, telling me he knows where I live. And all I kept thinking about walking outside, and those Justin Gagey thigh kicks, like walking outside and him walking up to me and just kicking me right in the leg like that one time.
Yeah, you don't want that. You know what though? MMA fighters, listen, we've messed with a lot of them, and they are the nicest people in the world. It's more the Twitter trolling, the YouTube trolling that goes on, because we had the FBI involved on one of our audience members. We literally had to get a restraining order.
Are you kidding? Tell us about that.
threatening to rape and kill Jesse and put her in a trunk and like
What?
yeah, I have videos in my phone still. I have videos in my phone of people like just out of control shit and like completely giving up their location. Like we had the FBI go to them and shit. I don't want to talk too much about it, but
No, so
yeah.
you have people in your genre also doxing people
Oh
and
yeah.
threatening people. Oh my God.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
really crazy.
You know what it is? As soon as you start gaining some sort of traction, and people aren't getting the attention that they seek, that's when they turn. You know, they could be your biggest supporter, and then all of a sudden they're not getting that attention anymore, and then they're literally your biggest enemy. It's crazy.
Oh,
With me, Maz,
man.
you know what they do with me? They say, "Oh, his numbers are fake. His show's not really growing." I mean, I hear it all the time because I'm the top guy here and I'm dominating these guys. You know?
There you go.
It's a
Just
jealousy.
And he really is.
Yeah, jealousy is a motherfucker. Yeah, jealousy will yeah, I don't know. People just get weird, you know. It's strange, but for the most part, you know, most of the people online are very supportive. It's just we for some reason gravitate towards the negative. You know, that's a big mistake I made early and I started to kind of pull away from it. But yeah, once you start getting sucked into that rabbit hole, you can't get out of it, you know? So drama and stuff like that. Unless you're a drama channel.
Sells. It's so
Yeah.
sad. It's sad.
I'm gonna give
that
give some
drama
money away real quick, guys. 1 second. Here's the question, people. The first person that answers this gets $25.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
How many carats was John Gotti's ring? Whoever puts that answer in first wins $25.
This
It's
is
a pinky ring.
The pinky ring. How many carats was John Gotti's pinky ring?
So does Angel know the answer to this?
Tony Silo won.
No,
Oh.
Tony Sato put 5.5.
Let me see. Oh wait, let's see. All right, BK Sal Crook won.
He put 50.
He put 5 carats.
Okay. BK beat D-Rest. BK Sal Crook.
He
You
won.
got to send in the private chat, send your wherever you want your money sound. You
Did you
heard
say
the rules
D-Rest?
before.
Did you say D-Rest one?
No,
It says
D-Rest
50.
came in right behind him.
Lee, do you have Carol blocked on your channel? I just got a text message that Carol's blocked.
That mean woman. I blocked her ass.
No, why would
let me
you
check. I
block
don't think
her?
so. I don't think
Yes,
so.
He says she's blocked.
I'm sorry, Carol. Let me go check. Okay, so
Sal, you win. And the reason why you won is because Tony Silo Lee Cole made a mistake at the beginning when he said that the ring was 5.5 carats. The ring is
No, I
5
said 5. I
carats.
didn't say
No, you
5.5.
said 5.5.
No, Angel, you're wrong. Cut it out.
Oh yes, you
Okay.
did. You said
Okay,
5.5.
Miles, you can. I'm going to disappear for a minute. Miles,
I don't
take over.
understand because BK South said 50 though, not 5. I just don't.
There we go. That's pretty cool. So $25 to a lucky winner of the chat. Look at that. That's why you got to tune in. Anyway, all right. So am I taking over? What's going on here?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
You are
So anyway,
taking
welcome
over.
to my show, guys. My name
He
is
said
Mr.
5.0, 5 carats.
There we go. That's pretty cool. Look at
Yeah,
that.
he did.
Okay.
Winner. So who we
Yeah,
got?
it just looks like 50 to me, but I guess I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
look, everybody's putting 5.0 means 5 carats.
Uh-oh. We got controversy. You might
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
now you did it, Lee. Now you got to give out more $25 gifts.
Well, Lee is going through the block list right now. He's not really paying attention.
Yeah, I don't see Carol on this.
Oh, so Carol's not blocked. Excuse me. Hello there.
$25 in
I'll
pennies.
check after.
I'll be right back. Just a second.
Okay, I like to ask you a question, Miles. Who do you think's gonna win this fight between Jake Paul and Diaz?
Jake Paul. I'm distracted, by the way. James Proctor. Is that his picture with his wife or girlfriend? Who is that in his picture over there?
That's his wife.
Wow, look at him. Holy, what the hell? Where did he get that smoke show? Look at this guy. She a mail order bride or something?
The
What did you
same place you got yours.
Chip Factory. Look at this girl. Wow. I'm sorry. I got this lead. Ask again. What was that question?
So you don't think Diaz? I think Diaz is going to beat him easy.
Oh yeah. So there's training footage that just popped out too of Diaz, and yeah, he looks all right. I don't think he's gonna win though. I don't know. I think Jake's too big. I think he's too big, and I don't know. Nate's like,
I like Diaz.
I like him too. I want Nate to win.
Yeah, everybody likes him. Nobody takes a beating
Diaz.
like them.
If Nate loses, it'd be such a bummer. I was so bummed when Anderson Silva lost. I was like, come on, what are we doing here? So I got to put my money on Jake. I have a feeling Jake's going to embarrass him. I hope not.
I thought Tony Silo was coming on.
I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and ask Maz some questions.
Yeah.
We got some boxers out here, Maz, that want to talk to you.
Let's go. Boxers. Very nice.
Here's the link.
Good night, Jen. Jen is going to bed.
No trolls and no ball sacks up here, please.
I have a feeling some of my people might slip through the cracks here, Lee. You might want to be careful.
Let them show their face first.
Oh, well, Angel's funny. Angel said some guy came on and showed his junk.
And it's the same guy with the same
and Angel
tiny
goes,
little thing. Oh my God.
Angel gets mad. She goes, how come when they always show it, it's always a small one?
I just say, my God, aren't you embarrassed?
That is, I don't know why guys do that. I never understood that.
It's like they're trying to, I don't know what they think they're going to get out of me. Marla and I just laugh at them and say, oh my God, we feel so bad for you.
They were trying to get your phone number out of you.
Hi, Tony.
What's up, sweetie? How are you?
How are
What's
you?
up? I'm good. She's not going to bed. I was only saying that so Lee wouldn't bother her.
So, Tony, is there anything you like while Mas is here? Would you like anything you'd like to talk to him about?
Well, about the UFC and the boxing judging, maybe if they started going for full-time judges instead of politically picked judges, you'd have a better shot of getting fairness. Like you say, you take a lot of these crap cards, like underfights, all right? Make more of them, let them judge on a full-time basis in the major states that we have, like we'll say New Jersey, New York, Vegas, something like that, as an example, all right? And you get judges on a full-time basis, not picked here, there, and everywhere, because that's becoming a very big problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you got this guy, Weissman. He was a good judge when he first started out, right? All of a sudden, it looks like he's becoming very politically motivated on every card he does.
Yeah, that is an issue, 100%. And also the judges, like they'll travel like on red eyes the day after they just judged the fight the night before, exhausted, cage side, sitting through these long ass events. These guys are tired. Like there should be some sort of, I don't know, consistency and some break between fights so they're clear headed.
I'll give you an example. You take the NHL and you take Major League Baseball. They're two of the best officiated sports going, right? Even the NBA. Those are full time. You take a sport like the NFL that brings in more money than almost, except for the NBA now, was beating all three at one time. Those are lawyers, accountants, So now they changed the NFL around since I believe it was the Saints game with the interference that one year. I forgot who they were playing. And they've got full-time referees now. The last couple of years, it's gotten a lot better. It's not there yet. But, I mean, NBA, you barely see a bad argument anymore. NHL, hardly ever. And Major League Baseball, unless they eject a player, there's really never complaints. And those are full-time employees. Maybe they got to come up with a system where you put on more smaller cards so fighters are active. Even amateur cards like in Nevada, you could do amateur and pro and they judge them, but it has to be more consistent because MMA is much more difficult to judge than boxing, but they're both difficult to judge.
Yeah. Well, I propose something like you bring team sports up. I propose something with live scoring above. You have live stats. You have significant strikes, effective strikes, head strikes, body shots, leg shots, takedown, all this stuff. There should be a scoreboard, I think.
Well, they tried that in boxing a couple of times.
Did they?
Yeah, a few times. I don't have the fights in front of me, but they did it a few times and it didn't work.
No kidding.
No, because what happened was you had people leaving the arena, and it was in Vegas too, running to change because all the prop bets and stuff like that. But it also was starting more animosity in the middle of the fight, So all of a sudden, the guy who was really winning the fight was behind on 2 to 3 cards, pretty bad, and that started fights at ringside when the round was going on. So I get it what you're saying, but not open to everybody. Maybe to start out to like a commission or an athletic commission, something like that to start out, because open scoring, especially now since gambling is really big into play, that could become a problem.
Well, yeah, that's why it's never going to happen. 100%. And the open scoring as a whole, it ruins the and still and new, that whole like on the edge of your seat thing, which I think the UFC would never want to get rid of. So it does get rid of it does hurt that. But if everyone's really that upset about scoring, something seriously has to be done. I think the 10-point system's got to go in MMA, not in boxing. Boxing is fine, your solution works, but with MMA, I feel like it doesn't work. Like, I feel like the 10-point system, there needs to be another way.
I think what's going on right now is go ahead, Tony.
No, go ahead, Nick.
There's a lot of boxing judges in MMA judging, as you guys know. You got Sal Diamata, who couldn't judge a fight if his life depended on it. And the criteria that they're judging on, I feel like they all need to go to the same class, figure out what, ground control used to be a huge thing. Now you take a guy down for 2.5, 3 minutes and you get pieced up for a minute, you're losing the round. Which one is it? And every judge is judging that piece of criteria differently. And that's why they're coming up with all different sorts of scorecards for every fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing they were doing for a while was that, like, Nevada uses Nevada judges. All right. They were swapping out state judges, like guys from New York, they tried in Jersey and vice versa, but it's still very close. I mean, maybe something there, because every promoter, manager, they have an in with certain judges. I mean, some of them are even neighbors. You know what I'm saying? And I know that for a fact. But Vegas is very, very politically motivated on everything to do with the athletic commission. So, maybe full-time judges, because the sport has grown that big. They can travel the country. There's a lot of cards during the week that people don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So you got 3 leagues. Maybe if the 3 leagues could actually get together and agree to use the same judges and not have all these politics. And I would definitely leave the fighters, promoters. You don't have that much in MMA because you got Dana White pretty much running everything.
Okay, Tony, I need 1 second. Jesus, how you doing?
Hey, Lee, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. Is there a question you want to ask Maz while you got him on?
I'm sorry. Actually, my question was for Angel. If she's still here.
Yes.
Angel, are you here?
Angel?
I'm sorry, I was muted talking to myself as usual.
Hi.
Hi, Jesus.
Hi, Angel. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thunderstorming here in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now.
Is it?
But anyway, first off, I want to say it's an honor to be able to talk to John Gotti's daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you. And but my question was, when the government arrested your father, did they steal like all his jewelry and all his boots?
No.
The
one thing I have to say is they never came to our house.
Oh, really?
I saw. Well, yeah, they ended up years later for my nephew, but while my father was alive, they never came into the house to like raid the house or anything. And I saw an interview where one of the detectives had said that it was because my mother had lost her son. So they said that they waited for him to get to wherever he was going, and then they swooped down and arrested him. Where they didn't do the same thing for my brother John, They went right to his house and banged down the doors and everything with all of his kids inside.
How
But
many
they
people-
didn't
when
do
your
that
brother-
with my father.
When your brother John got arrested, how many people raided his house?
It was ridiculous. Like that's the part of the movie, the Gotti movie, that's 100% right on the money. Helicopters, they climbed the fences. Don't forget he had dogs, you know, like he has attack dogs. And the dogs were going crazy. And yeah, they swooped in. Didn't matter, you know, they came banging through the door.
There was over
They really
about
had out for your
100.
brother.
They didn't search his house or anything. They just came in to get him.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Angel. Thank you,
Thank
Lee.
you,
Thank you, James
Jesus.
Proctor.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mousy.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye, you guys.
Good night, brother.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. What a nice
Okay,
man. Nice looking man.
Nice kid.
So, Maz, when you hear that about how they arrested the John Jr. like that, then you meet him and you look at him. Can you even come across that happening?
Yeah, he was such a nice guy. The one thing I will say was the group that he was with, I would definitely not talk trash. I don't know who he was with, but I was like, those guys mean business. Like
Big Steve. I know who he was with.
Yeah, Tony, did you go to CES? Were you at those events?
I was at a couple of CES and I was at the last boxing match. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You guys, I could. It was deafening. The Gotti chant. Like we have one video that we uploaded. It's just you guys chanting. I'm like, holy shit, man! Like no matter where you go, you take it over, man.
Well, that's what happened at the Mayweather fight. I mean, you know, they did a lot in the ring area, but backstage they fought only with themselves. Trust me.
Hey guys, I just got to shout out one. I got to shout out one thing. Teresa, the baby Marie, $5. Thank you. You guys want to hear something funny? So
Hey,
BK
Teresa.
120. BK won $25 and then he gave it back.
And he donated it back to you.
Oh, that's nice.
That's so nice, BK Sal
That's cool.
Crook. He's such a nice man.
So
And
if you go
Lee
to-
didn't
if-
trick me.
if-
Lee, you
if
didn't
you go
trick
to
me. I was thinking
if you
about
go
it.
to Maz's, if you go to Maz's channel, when you donate money, he has certain levels of like one of them would be like dragons coming out. Give us an example of some of the names of when people donate you money.
It's funny you say that. I just turned it off. So if someone has me on their show, they could still donate and the noises will play. So I just turned it off. I was like, shit, man, if one of these crazy songs comes on while we got a good story going here, it would just ruin your show. But yeah, it's a bunch of nonsense. I make really dopey songs, really childish songs.
Now, why have they
That's
been
good.
taking down? Why have they been taking down some of your videos, Maz? It's very unusual.
The Monday we did a show about Israel Adesanya, screaming the N-word in a
Right.
South African's face, and we had a little fun with it. But I got a little serious too because listen, when it comes to race, I have no patience for it. I make jokes and stuff, but at the end of the day, if there's serious racism, I'm like, come on, guys, get your heads out of your ass,
Exactly.
And so there was something going on here. We were having debates, and we had a UFC fighter, Sadiq Yusuf, come on, and we were debating, like, because talking about true Africans, South African. It was a very hot topic, and right when we were done with the stream, the UFC put in a copyright claim, and we were doing everything fair use. So yeah, that one got shut
So
down.
UFC did. So here you are. You shout out to UFC.
Yeah.
You do a lot for them, and they still struck you.
Oh yeah. We put in a claim so YouTube's a little better now. Like before, I would have had a strike. I wouldn't be able to stream. But now the process is a little bit better. So I'm just fighting now to get that back up. But the negative part is if I lose, I do get into a lot of trouble. I could lose my channel, but I know, it's legit what I'm saying. So I'm not too worried.
Because I noticed you went on Rumble TV. I mean, not TV. You pulled up a Rumble channel just in case, didn't you?
Yeah. We got Rumble as a backup plan. I don't like Rumble's platform for many reasons, but
I hate it too. Yeah.
at least it's freedom of speech. That's the one plus about it. So, we'll see. I'm looking to stay on YouTube. YouTube's been great to me.
Yeah.
We're cruising into 80K. So it's like, why leave? But if I'm forced, we go to Rumble. It is what it is.
Well, Maz, let me ask you a question. Would you think about doing Patreon for like private, good, real big interviews once you get to that point?
Yeah, we do have a Patreon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're launching a website. We're dropping 20K into this website, and this thing is going to be our home. So basically, if anything goes down, you find us there, and we'll do live streams. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff popping up on the website. So
And how much was donated to you for that website?
man, we're at 15K. Yeah, we're at 15K.
15,000 from the people in your chat.
Yeah.
And on your show, because I seen that. So what
Great.
for 20K? I can imagine what this website's going to be like.
Let me say this: we did YouTube. So August will be 7 years, and we've been doing it full time for 4 years. It's my only job. This is what I do for a living, right? I have 2 kids I got to provide for. I have my wife that is also intertwined with the show and doing behind the scenes stuff. And sponsors are maybe 25% of our profit. Our profit is our audience. They keep us alive. They literally pay our bills, and they're like a gift, man.
Right.
Pretty cool.
I have a good question, Moss, for you. I do what you do. I do live fight companions. I've been doing it for about 4.5, 5 years. I work for Pub Sports Radio.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, brother? I used to work for SBR and then Odds, and then that's when I found my home at Pub Sports. 4.5 years now. Do you notice that every Saturday, right? We don't get to go out. We're in the crib, right? Nonstop breaking down the fights. And to get into that, how many times do you watch a fight, right? And the judges come out, right? The scorecards come out, and you're like, I just don't see that. I don't get how they came up with that.
It happens all the time. But like I said before, there are a lot of times I have gone back and said, you know what? It's just too close to scream robbery. And I'm in the minority. There are a lot of people that just want to hang judges, and I understand it. But when people throw the word robbery out there, I feel like it's too loosely used.
Yes.
A close fight is not a robbery. If it could go either way, it's not a robbery. That's how I look at it. And if I watch it back, that's what I see. So it's annoying because the problem is gambling. Like with who was the other guy?
100%.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, Pub Sports. We're gambling. Yeah, we do a lot of gambling live there. Yeah,
gambling because we become clouded. Like we think differently. When we have money on a fight, like we are very biased. It's just human nature, right? So if you watch it with a clear head, a lot of times, and you don't have money involved in it, you start seeing things a little bit more clear. So money kind of makes it a little worse.
Well, we were discussing it. Go ahead.
I'm
Amy.
sorry. I just want to interrupt for 1 minute. First, I want to say thank you to BK Sal Crook. You are the best, BK Sal Crook. Also, Stone Sailor said something that I never heard before. They think that was bad. Does anybody remember what Roberto Duran said to Sugar Ray Leonard's wife before their first fight?
I do, but I'm not going to repeat it.
Oh, he said something really bad?
He was Roberto Duran. He said a lot of bad things back in those days.
But to somebody's wife, to Sugar Ray Leonard's wife?
Yeah, he did. He was wrong. But you see what happened? Roberto Duran came from Panama. And it was, he actually checked himself into prison for the Marvin Hagler fight to train meth. I mean, that was a savage place when he was young. But it doesn't mean, and he was one of my favorite fighters, doesn't mean he was right. But Sugar Ray was very cutesy, and he would say things and get under Roberto Duran's skin that he just snapped and he said the wrong thing to his wife, and that's not called for.
Oh, so did Sugar Ray Leonard go crazy?
No, he actually lost that fight.
That's got to be the worst.
But the next fight, he made him go no mas, and he quit.
Well, what happened there is, come on, you've seen it and I've seen it. He had no answers. But Sugar Ray, to me, Sugar Ray made the hugest mistakes in the world in the first fight. He wanted to show everybody he was tougher than man. He was a boxer. He was a puncher. If he would have went with the same strategy he went with in the first fight, in the second fight that he should have did in the first fight, you might not have had the same outcome in that first fight at all. Sugar Ray didn't move anything in that first fight.
Hey, Maz,
I'm sorry I interrupted.
Maz, do you prefer boxing or UFC for your show?
Listen, we're the MMA holes, right? So I'm a boxing casual. When I was a kid, it was Tyson. I went to the Trinidad versus Sweet Pea Whitaker fight when I was a kid, and I like boxing, but I fell off for a while. Like when Tyson was gone, I was out, and I didn't even watch any combat sports until the UFC stole my heart, and now forget. I'm so biased, man. I love MMA. I really
Same,
do.
brother. Same.
All right, let me give you 2 names. The last John Jones fight. What did you think of that?
Against Cyril Gahn. I mean, I wasn't surprised that John won. But I did thought it was going to go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts that could have been kind of a, I'm going in to get paid and leaving?
Hell no.
I love talking conspiracies.
Come on. Look at the way he moved. First of all, John Jones was not in the great shape that everybody said.
Mhm.
I mean, I was expecting him to come out, would take his shirt off and be ripped up. He did have a stomach and stuff like that. But the opponent...
Heavyweight, remember? First heavyweight fight.
Yeah.
I get it, but he also took 2 years to convert his body like that, or a year and a half to convert his body like that. You would expect to see something completely different than what he came out looking like.
I'm not opposed to saying there are fights that are fixed in the UFC, especially lately. It's been a little weird, but that fight over there, listen, when Chael Sonnen fought John Jones, he said it was like fighting a bear. John Jones is a physical specimen. Even if he's a little frumpy looking, this guy, he's got the grappling. He's such a full machine, like this guy. So I'm not surprised at all.
I rewatched it in slow motion. What happened is when Jones took him down, he did not realize how strong Jones was.
Yeah.
It was like he was scared.
He caught him a shot before he took him down too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, what about if Ngannou would have stayed with MMA instead of the circus? What happens in that fight?
Good
Bro,
fight.
dude, that's the fight we all want. That's what we all wanted. Like
How old is John Jones?
John's what, 35?
35, 36.
Around there?
Yeah,
I think Ngannou is going to get knocked out quick against Tyson Fury. I don't even think that's going to be. I think we're going to get the Jones Ngannou fight maybe past their prime.
Well, yeah, don't be surprised. Yeah, because like Marcel, the guy that's representing, what's it called, Ngannou, he says that's the goal. They still want it. Like, so here's the thing. I think John retires in November. I think he beats Stipe. And think about it. Like, why should he continue? The guy is the greatest of all time within the UFC, right?
I'll tell you why I think he continues for one more after that. He has not been able to maintain the dollars that other guys at that level have. He's gone through a ton of money. So, if you get that fight,
too, though.
You think about it, $2.5 million compared to looking at what other fighters make for his last fight. That's really not that much money for a guy of that caliber.
Yeah, he puts it all up his nose. That's what he does. He puts it all up his fucking nose. But here's the thing, John, all he has to do is appearances for the rest of his life. Like he could just show up and get paid a nice bag of money here and there just by making appearances, signing autographs. He's the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think Ngannou and Jones bring in each? Not what they bring in a gate. What do you think they would be able to demand each?
Oh, money? What they would get paid?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
$5 million a piece or more?
It depends. Is the UFC doing this or is it?
I was just going to say, do you think it goes outside of Dana White's hands and they go somewhere else?
I feel like
John Jones go, right, Moss?
100%. Yeah, I agree. 100. Dana's got John around everything is going to revolve around Dana White with John. Yeah, it's not going to be like Francis with John Jones for sure.
I think the fight could have been made easier if Dana White wasn't involved. How's that?
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
He's very stingy, and these poor guys, I see them after fights. Some of them can't walk for weeks, even if you win. And they're not making that kind of money to be doing that.
He's petty.
Compared to boxers.
It's the reason why. Think about the UFC is the UFC is the top dog, and when you look at boxing, you have all these promotions. You got everyone doing great, whereas the UFC is it, and it's because Dana White's the way he is. He's a prick. He's a scumbag. He's a promoter, but he does it in a way where there's nothing else like it. Like, it's crazy what the UFC is doing.
Agreed. Now let's get a little off still stay on Dana White. What you think about when he smacked his wife? Well, no, because I did a show on it, and I'm looking to see what your opinion is.
We had a lot of fun with it. I mean, I don't agree with hitting women. I think that's the lowest piece of shit move ever, and he's completely wrong with that. With that being said, I'm not surprised, and I will say this: I am very friendly with people that are in his circle I don't want to say any names because then I'm going to kind of rat out my, the connections that I have. But they said this is not the first time. We all know this. Like, this is not the first time he's put his hands on her.
All right, but let me ask you a question then to follow on that quick, and then let somebody else go. Don't you think the press conference he did was kind of a slap in the face, like, F you, I'm Dana White, and by me leaving, you suffer, not me? Well, you know what? You got two matchmakers that could have stepped in for even 3 months, okay? And you got a couple of other guys that are very smart in that organization. They just don't want to step over him or try and do anything because they'll get fired. Come on, you know how it goes over there with him. I think he should have took some kind of suspension.
When him and the Fertittas, did the big sale, Dana never had to work another day in his life, right? The only reason, he just likes the attention, man. He loves it, and he likes to pat himself on the back. Like that's like power slap that he's trying to force feed everybody. He wants it to work in the worst way, so he could just pat himself on the back. He's a narcissist.
But you remember, I forgot, you would know probably, the fighter who did get caught with domestic violence. I mean, he ripped that poor guy up apart on the podium. Not the poor guy. He deserved what he got. He went up there by himself, not with an owner of the company for that press conference. You got Disney involved. They own ESPN. They're involved in that now. Somebody should have done something to suspend the man for smacking his wife. And it's definitely not the first time. If you could snap that easy one time, you've done it before.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. There's no doubt about it that he's done this before.
And how ironic, it came about a week or two before Slat League came out.
yeah, dude, that was
bad marketing.
And if you've noticed, Dana White, he does not wear his wedding ring no more, I noticed. So that marriage might already be over. You're just not hearing about it.
Yeah, I mean, they have a weird this is, like I said, this is not their first rodeo. Like they've put hands on each other before, and she's no saint either, by the way.
I was just gonna say that. I heard that she's she picks up her hands and she just goes at him.
She slapped him first.
Yeah. He grabbed her and then she slapped him. And then
why did he grab her?
He should have never done that. Yeah.
Were they drinking?
Yeah, they were yelling at each other.
Oh, okay. They were drinking.
Yeah, the video is wild. It is wild. And the timing of power slap, right? Like, what the fuck?
Unreal. Right. What? Wow. That's all I gotta say.
But I'm always gonna defend the woman, and I just think he got away with it too easy, man. He go up there, Dana, you do the press conference, you're in charge of the press conference. And it basically said, I got to live with it for the rest of my life, but it isn't going to hurt me if I leave for a while. It's going to hurt all of you and the fighters.
Yeah. Not
necessarily. Even if they did it to make it look good, go manage from your mega mansion in Vegas that you built with the $460 million. He got no penalty.
One thing I respect about Dana White, he never let wokeism take over his company. And he never bent to the things they wanted to, and when we had all this stuff in the 2020 going down, he defied everybody and kept UFC going.
Yeah,
Abu Dhabi. If it was somebody else, they could be woke already, fighting in pink shorts. I mean, so I think that we have to remember that part of him is a part of him that's the part that I would be afraid to lose from him walking away from the UFC. Who's going to walk in and take his place?
Yes,
I would pick a guy that I hate, Joe Rogan. I think he's got a lot more connections inside that UFC than anybody knows, and he has all kinds of TV. I didn't say I want it, but
no, he don't want that. Rogan don't want that. Like he's an
egomaniac. Come on, man. He might give it a shot. He might give it a shot.
He's gonna fall to the face of the earth. Mark my words. He's gonna stop the UFC. He's gonna do his podcast until he gets bored and then vanish.
Yep.
Oh, the guy's worth mega
money he needs.
Yeah, I mean, this guy. Yeah, like you could tell he's on his way out with the UFC as it is. Like he's just doing it for fun now, right? He doesn't go to all the events. He does like in the US pay-per-views. He's kind of weaseling his way out. And he said once Dana's gone, he's gone too. Like he's out. So here's the thing with Dana: you got to be a piece of shit to be doing as successful as Dana White is, right? You can't be a complete good guy. You got to burn some bridges. You got to be you got to be a snake, and that's what Dana is.
It's the
Well,
truth.
basically, in one way or another, he's like the white Don King. You know,
Yeah.
he came in and was a scumbag. Excuse my language, Angel. And Don King did the same thing. And Don King was richer than the fighters, and not for nothing, Dana's richer than every fighter there.
Yeah. Tony,
Awesome.
where are you from? You're in New York?
I'm from New York, yeah.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
Howard Beach or no?
No, I'm from Corona.
Corona. Oh shit. The Lemon Ice King over there. Is it still around?
Yes, it is.
Look at you. My dad grew up in Corona. I mean, it's a lot different now. You're still in Corona.
No, I'm in Florida and Great Neck now.
Oh,
I'm in
okay.
Lauderdale by the Sea in Great Neck. I moved out
Corona's-
of Corona when I was a kid.
Okay, I was gonna say Corona now is wild, man, compared to I'm sure when you were a kid, right?
Yeah, but we grew up around, like the park there. We didn't really go that far outside of there. We played by Flushing Meadow Park, which is now Corona Park. We were pretty stable in that one area. We didn't. A lot of the crime in Corona is not where we grew up. We grew up right in the heart of where the restaurant is over there, so we were all right.
Okay. Yeah, the accent and everything, like you're bringing me back too, man. I like hearing it.
Yeah.
Moss, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler, Nico Price. I live right down here next to Coco ATT, so I spent a lot of time watching him in the gym, whatnot. I used to work out there, for a while. You probably know Charles Rosa. He used to fight with
Yeah.
CS.
Yeah, I met him a bunch of times.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Him and his dad, Chucky. A lot of people thought that fight was rigged, fixed. I know I talked with him about Lee the other night and whatnot, and Tony. That was not a fixed fight whatsoever.
Lola?
Yeah.
Lawler Price.
No way. He hit him right on the temple, I thought.
So I agree. I don't think it's fixed, but I did entertain it because it was weird. Like there was a lot of weird stuff that happened afterwards. The convenient celebration tape, right before the pay-per-view, it's on ABC. Why are they not on the pay-per-view card and they're on the prelims? This is Robbie Lawler's retirement. They've never done this before. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was a big money thing. And I don't know. But at the same time, I do think the knockout was real. So I
tell you what, I didn't see that fight live. I was watching the boxing. All right. And when my son called me, I said, all right, let me go back and watch it. I went to my box and I looked at it. And I did it 3 times. And I said, he hit him right on the sweet spot of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so try and do it like slow and you'll see where that punch lands.
And he cut him with some other shots too, Tony. Some, a nice shovel uppercut. And it was right, left. And the thing is, I feel like that was a perfect opponent for Robbie to beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trading on the hand, with the hands. If Nico Price tried to wrestle, whatnot, Robbie will be able to, out wrestle him. Nico is good off his back when it comes to jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, but that wouldn't put Robbie in any type of trouble. It would be later in the fight. If Robbie was to throw caution to the wind early, would be Nico's shot. But Robbie shut that down.
Nicky, styles make fights, and
of course
that
guys,
fight fit Robbie Lawler's style.
Guys, let's remember one thing too. And Moss, what did you think about how Lawler just destroyed Nick Diaz?
Oh man, that was embarrassing. That was like Nick. I don't know what the hell was going on there. I felt so bad for Nick in that fight. Like, look, he didn't want to be there.
I don't think Nick has anything in the tank anymore.
I don't think he trained for that fight properly. It looked like.
You know what it turns out to be? It looks like Nick worries about Nate a lot, and maybe that's affecting his own career for the last few years he had it. And he just didn't look like he was. He really didn't look like he. Yeah, it didn't look like he wanted to be there that night.
You know, the weirdest Robbie Lawler fight to me was the Colby Covington one. That one was bizarre as all hell. Like, it didn't seem like Robbie. Like, that was really weird.
I agree.
That was like, it was like the way he was hitting him and shit like that. Like, the old Robbie, I felt like would have smoked Colby. And this one, he was just kind of pitter pattering and he was walking into punches. Like it was like, I know Robbie's a little reckless, but to the point where he just kept walking forward into Colby's combos. It was really strange.
Yeah.
I thought in that fight, Lawler worried too much about the takedown, and it took him totally out of the fight plan.
I agree with Lee. I think he was so worried about being taken down and flipped down. Sometimes your mind gets the better of you in the middle of combat.
And to give Colby his due, I mean, Colby ragdolled Masvidal like he was a little bitch.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he just ragdolled him. It was embarrassing how bad he beat him.
And that's all Colby fights.
I'll tell you what, that fight was also very personal. Personal business is a lot different than business. You know, there's business and personal business in there, and it's happened in boxing as well. You know, Foreman took apart Frazier. Frazier beat up Ali once, and the third fight could have went either way. Whoever quit first at the end of that round. But look what Ali did to Foreman. You know, Frazier and Ali was personal business.
And Maz, what's your opinion of Kobe Covington?
I'm like a little hot and cold with him. Like I appreciate what he has done in the cage. I think his trash talk is like 75% effective. Like it works. It's funny. And then that other 25 just drives me nuts. You know, like his fights against Usman were great. Like those were great fights. There were other fights where I felt like it was just, I don't know. It felt like a waste of time. He's a weird personality because like sometimes I love him and sometimes I'm like, all right, are we fighting or are we just talking shit? Like, I don't know what's going on here.
I respect one big thing about him, and it's his cardio. He will grind you F out all day long, every single fight, and that's what he does.
100%.
If he fights Leon, does he beat Leon?
Oh fuck, dude, that's some fight. You know what? I'm gonna go with Colby. Yeah, I am gonna go with Colby. I think Leon's a beast, but I think Colby is gonna be too much. I think
Colby's gonna take him to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be too much pressure.
Remember though, Leon took Usman down.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know if Colby's going to get him down, but I think he's going to be pressing him. I think his relentlessness is going to be problematic. And he can take a punch. There's no doubt about that. His face was fucking sideways when Kamaru hit him, and he was still coming forward. So,
yep.
Yeah, forget it.
Maz, what do you think of bare knuckle?
So I like it. Okay,
You do?
and we had a very good relationship with Bare Knuckle, and now they can go fuck themselves because they didn't pay us. These cocksuckers. Excuse my French.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, he's a scumbag. The guy.
Feldman is a snake.
Agreed.
So what do you mean they didn't pay? What do you mean they didn't?
Yeah, what do you mean they didn't pay you?
We had a deal with them for actually the Perry Rockhold fight. And also there's a media story too as well. We had a Perry Rockhold fight where we had like people bought the pay-per-views and we get commission off of it, right? And I know for a fact people were buying pay-per-views through there. And we're like, okay, you know what? Show us the stats. You know, let us know the number. Even if the stats were low or whatever, just show us those stats. Oh yeah, we're going to show you. We're going to show you. They didn't show us a damn thing. They just completely ghosted us. And then they followed up a couple of weeks later. We have like media that goes to the events and covers the events. We've been doing it for like the last like year and a half. We've been covering their events. Like I'll send people from the audience, and they do a professional job. They'll get interviews and all that stuff. They questioned these two Irish kids that we sent there. They asked good questions. They had content they put on social media. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if we can give you press passes anymore. On top of not paying us for that Perry Rockhold thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with those guys, man. I liked it. I did like it, but I'm out.
I think what you're going to see, eventually with Bare Knuckle, they're going to start squeezing them in the best they can with boxing events.
Yeah, you know what the problem too is, like Feldman he's literally like he said for that last pay-per-view, he like I don't know, he put his house on the line and stuff like that. He's like going broke paying for this. And then they're not getting the pay-per-views to back it up. So
not at all.
Yeah. They got Triller that they're working with, but apparently Triller's not flipping the whole bill. And if they keep going in this direction, they're gonna flop. So they gotta find a way to finance this thing.
Well, I'll tell you what happened at the Mayweather fight. I'm sorry, Lee, go ahead.
What do you think of Mike Perry?
Great street fighter, great bare knuckle fighter. He's built for that.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of bare knuckle, I'm thinking John III. Thinking,
no way, ain't happening.
You know, I mean, he's probably not going to do it. I mean, he's fighting Mayweather, but still, I'm going to be completely honest with you because I don't think he's going to get into the UFC. I mean, I don't think this is like, rocket science here, but like from what I've seen, it's going to be a long path for him to get to the UFC. Maybe a PFL or something like that, but even that, he's got to get some work done here.
Let me ask you a question. You're a knowledgeable fight guy, obviously. Win, lose, or draw with Mayweather, okay? It brings his name. Hello?
Hector Lombard is here. Go ahead.
Okay. Win, lose, or draw with Mayweather, okay? And I think it's going to be a much, much more entertaining, a much more exciting fight. Trust me on this one, okay? He's got a lot of names out there from the YouTube world, from the UFC going boxing world. They're making more money, as much money, if not more, than boxers or UFC fighters.
Yeah, so you're saying novelty, like influencer fights type deal?
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you think Jake Paul and Fury was a novelty fight, or was that a real fight?
I honestly think it was a novelty fight, to be honest.
But
Because-
it was his, well, Silva Paul was a very good, entertaining fight.
Yes. Yeah, I was very
Okay.
impressed.
I don't know about Diaz and Paul. I love Nate Diaz. I just don't think he's ready for Jake Paul in a boxing match right now. Jake Paul does take it very serious. But,
Yeah.
you know, John and Jake Paul are the same exact weight.
I take my money. I would be cool with that. So yeah, I'm down with that. Like I'm down with novelty stuff. That seems like it makes the most sense because he's gonna get paid abnormal amounts of money to fight these novelty fights, and it's more realistic. The UFC thing, like I would love to see John in the UFC. I want to see him in the Contender Series. I remember there was rumblings about that. They were supposed to be in the Contender Series. And
But, you know, here's what you got to take into effect. John's 30 already, and he's young to the game, inexperienced in the game, but he's experienced in every other way. You got to cash in now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You got 2 or 3 fights out there for John where forget about the Mayweather money right now. He could make potentially anywhere from 20 to 30 million off of 2 to 3 fights
Yes.
that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, and he could, but yeah, I mean, he could make a pretty good bag. So say if that doesn't pan out, right? Say if the novelty stuff doesn't pan out, bare knuckles, they are paying. You know, they will throw a boatload of money in a direction for, you know, if say if this Mayweather thing works out and it makes a lot of money, I mean, people could be throwing a lot of money in all different ways at him.
His father will never let it happen.
No,
Trust me.
so
No
he's against
way.
bare knuckle.
You'll never see John the Third in a bare knuckle fight.
That makes
Let's
me
ask
feel
Angel. Angel, you there?
He's got
Yeah,
great
I'm
hands,
here.
though.
Angel, do you
Doesn't
think
matter.
that? Wait, 1 second, guys. Angel, do you think that your brother would not let, or would try to stop his son from fighting a bare knuckle fight?
Truthfully, I really don't know. I know how my brother gets. My brother, like a few weeks before my nephew fights, is a nervous wreck. You can't even talk to him. So I don't know about bare knuckle.
Well,
Mhm.
Angel, here's what happens. And Miles, you tell me yes or no, and Lee, you, all right? Pretty much you're going to get cut up because of the way the tape is and the fingers are. John is not going to put his son in. This is not an animalistic family, no matter what people want to say. This is a loving father, and he's got his son there. And he's got him in position, Lee, and we talked about this in February. When you said go MMA, and I said, I think boxing. But what people don't understand is this Mayweather fight was supposed to happen a year and a half ago. This isn't the first time this was set to go. And the cat got out of the bag and they canceled it. Correct, Angel?
Yeah, but I think there was other reasons too. First of all, my brother is no dummy, so his son was getting paid up front when there was no fight.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And the bare knuckle guy isn't paying a lot of guys what they're supposed to be getting. So it will never happen under the guy who's running it right now.
He's
I can
paying
promise
too
you
much,
that.
I heard.
I had a promoter reach out to me after that Gotti fight, and they said bare knuckle is the way. Like he would kill it over there in bare knuckle.
I have
only would
to
he-
ask. I'm going to ask tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm curious because, like, honestly, I would listen if I was related. Of course, you don't want to see someone go fight bare knuckle, but there are positives to it. Aesthetically, yes, you're gonna get cut, but hands, like the way hands are breaking and stuff like that, you'll actually get more damage in boxing, really, because like you're repetitively getting hit in the head with these giant freaking gloves over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? With bare knuckle, you get a cut, they stop the fight. You know, with MMA, you get hit in the side of the head with a shin. That's like getting hit in the head with a baseball bat. So bare knuckle is dangerous, but I think it looks worse than it actually is from what I hear from the actual fighters.
All right, let me ask you a question. Malinaji went in there and fought bare knuckle up in Tampa. You remember that fight?
Yes.
All right. He fought half nervous because he didn't want to get
Broken hands.
damaged.
His hands were busted up.
Right, and that's not going to happen with John Gotti III. Angel, please ask him because I'm telling you, the answer is going to be no way. I've heard,
Time
you
is
know,
it? I would ask
that's
him
what
right
ha-
now, but it's pretty late.
you
I
know,
could see him
look at
signing him for a lot of money, though.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, but
I do.
you're missing the point, guys. Let her ask her brother and see what he comes back with.
Well, I'll ask my nephew.
I'm going to say no.
Well,
I mean, you think about it. He's possibly got Jake Paul out there. He's possibly got Tommy Fury out there. He's possibly got that kid, what is it, KSO, whatever his name is in England?
KSI.
They're all in relatively the same weight bracket there.
But if John does lose to Mayweather again, right? I mean, Jake, why would Jake fight him? Just for the name?
Money.
I don't think it's going to sell. I got to be honest with you. I don't.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you're saying, why would Jake fight him? Jake lost to Fury, who's only had how many pro fights?
But Jake Paul, like, if you look at his social media following, Jake could lose 20 fights in a row. He picks and calls his shots. You know what I'm saying? And his pay-per-views aren't really selling. He even said, they said, how much is he going to make against Nate Diaz? They were saying like 400, 500K buys.
Maybe.
Like with that, that's what and Jake is being completely honest. I don't even think they're going to hit that, to be honest with you. So, you know, like he really has to put a player in there that's going to sell more pay-per-views. And I'm not saying, like, listen, John's got the name, but he doesn't have the history. Like, he doesn't have, you know what I'm saying? Like Mayweather is Floyd Mayweather. So that helps that. But against Jake Paul, I don't see it working. I would love to see that, but I just don't see it.
Well,
like,
I'm not saying that's his next fight, but if you fight somebody that Jake Paul is wavering away from, you know, you have to learn how to box him in.
mm-hmm.
You know, there might be a guy who Jake Paul's staying away from, and John goes in and knocks the fuck out of him. Excuse my language. And then Jake Paul's kind of boxed into a corner a little bit. Maybe he fights another guy that's on the list for Jake Paul, gives him a good fight, beats him. He's got him boxed to a corner. John has to just get a little bit more active, but he has power. Miles, trust me when I tell you, if he hits you, bye-bye.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it in CES. I see it. And I was like, whoa, like my mouth dropped when I saw his power. There's no doubt about it. I
tell you what, through 3 rounds, hold on, I got to look at this other thing. Through 3 rounds against Conor McGregor, okay? He threw, what is that, 16, 26. Against Conor McGregor, he threw 28 punches through 3 rounds, okay? That's Mayweather. Against John, all right? He threw 62 punches in round 1, 31 punches in round 2, and 34 punches in round 3. That's what he threw for the fight against Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because he knows
it was nuts. Yeah,
right. Because he knows if he got touched, he might have been in trouble.
So you're saying that Floyd put on the pace early. It was uncharacteristic because of the power.
Well, he has the speed advantage. Come on, let's not be stupid. Yeah. All right. He has the speed. He has the experience. He went for an attack, and he never does that in any fight.
Ever.
I can remember one fight when he fought Diego Corrales. All right. But the numbers right here, 90, 120, what is that, 128 in 3 rounds? He doesn't throw that in 10 rounds.
Yeah, I actually remember that when we were like doing the play-by-play for it. I was blown away by what I was like, this is not Floyd. This is weird, man, seeing Floyd so aggressive. So it makes sense. I'm not saying you're wrong.
But so what we did is we gave it to a professional trainer, all right? He threw 222 punches in 5.5 rounds of 2-minute rounds. He never throws 200 punches like that in 5 rounds. Never once. So I think he was more respecting the power, because when he did get hit with the one left hook, he did look sideways, like, what the F was that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying John was winning by any means. I think John would have finished the fight. He would have went the distance without a doubt. He wasn't hurt. He was very, listen, let's call a spade a spade. He's never walked into that atmosphere before, and there was a half a circus in between fights and everything that was going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you seen what was going on backstage, you would have been like, what the hell is this? I mean, it was terrible. And the girl who got beat up was Big Lex by Jocelyn Hernandez too.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens in the next fight.
Do you think Tony, I have a question for you. Do you think that because it was an 8-round fight, that might have been one of the reasons why he stepped up his punch count in the early rounds? Or do you think it was
absolutely not? He had 3 exhibitions before that. He didn't even come close to that amount of punches.
Logan Paul, who he didn't finish, who he got shit for, right?
Right.
Do you think that might have been a reason him coming out gung-ho?
No, I think there was something personal, and I don't know why, because when everybody walked in the building, Floyd was already there. That's first sign something's up. He never is the first fighter in the building. He gets there. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, John is a fighter, right? If you think about it, like I know he's got limited experience when it comes to like the other fighters, but when it comes to the exhibition stuff, like Logan, he's been fighting YouTubers, right? Whereas John, he's legit been in there. He's been in the cage, he's been in the ring. Maybe the level of opponent, nothing spectacular, but still, John is a fighter at the end of the day with power. So I could see, like you're saying, Floyd going in there and saying, "Hey, man, I gotta." Piece him up. I honestly still don't think Floyd took it serious, though. Do you think?
Oh, no, man. I was sitting right there. I wasn't but 20 feet from where they were. Trust me when I tell you, he was throwing, and he also has very weak hands. All right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about he's weak. His hands are very brittle after all these years.
Yeah.
He wanted Reyes gloves when everybody walked in the building. He don't use Reyes gloves. So what was he going in there to do with all these different tricks before this exhibition fight? I was there for every day. What the hell? It was a nice press conference, a beautiful weigh-in thing. All right. He just came in there. Like,
hey guys,
he came in there.
Hey, Tony, I want to get away from this a little bit, if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind, because we're not going to be on much longer. I just want to ask Maz a couple questions real quick, if you don't mind, Maz.
Yeah.
Were you always a boxing fan, or did you become a boxing fan and an MMA fan as your show built up?
No, I was like I said, when I was a kid, I was a Tyson fan, and like at the world stopped, and I would watch Mike Tyson. I went to a couple of events live, and then I just kind of fell off. Lennox Lewis chased me out of boxing. I was like, this guy puts me to sleep. So I was like, I'm done. I stopped watching all combat sports, and I'm a big like team sports fan, right? And I was at a New York Giants game. I'm sitting there, I'm going crazy. My buddy leans over to me. He's like, yo, this Brock Lesnar, man. He's in this cage. He's beating the shit out of people. You got to check this out. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I started watching the UFC, and I was hooked. I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't even pay attention to boxing anymore. I was out. What dragged me back into boxing, little Canelo, but mostly Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury with that trilogy with Wilder. I mean, come on. That was must-see TV. That was so much fun. I was back in, but I'm still not fully back into boxing. I have to be honest with you. We do circus fights. We'll do the big fights. It's watered down compared to MMA for me, at least.
When you got a guy like Bumper that came on your show, do you find it amazing that you could, like, you talk to that guy on the phone, don't you?
Wait, who we talking about?
The announcer,
Goldberg?
No, the ring announcer.
Oh, Buffer.
Yeah, Buffer. I always get his name. Yeah, so Buffer, you had him on the show. You did an interview with him.
Yeah,
which I thought was very good. Is he generally that nice of a guy where he doesn't seem like he's full of himself? Let's put it that way.
No, Bruce is great. Like I texted him for his birthday. He when we first had him on, like I was shitting in my pants. I was like, this is Bruce Buffer. This is the voice of the Octagon. Now I shouldn't have been nervous because he does do a lot of interviews. He's a very nice guy. And we had a bidet sponsor at the time. And I was like, listen, let's get you this bidet and shoot water in your ass, like horsing around with him. And he was like, yeah, no, and I was like, all right. And we got an email afterwards from him, and he's like, is that bidet offer still on the table? so I'm like, yeah. I'm like, we'll send you whatever the hell you want, right? So he's like, yeah. So he gave us his address and his phone number. And I was like, what? So we sent him this bidet, this nice little package. And then ever since then, we just bypass his people and we just talk to him. He's a great guy.
Now he's complete opposite of his brother.
Yeah. He's told us stories about his brother. He actually still handles his brother's business.
Do you know how they met?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's
wild.
The whole story is crazy.
It's a wild story, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a couple other things real quick. Now, out of everybody you've interviewed, who did you take the biggest liking to? It seems like you got a special bond with Goldberg. I mean,
yeah, me and Goldberg we text each other. He's the man. Like I literally texted him the other day to get him back on, and we just go back and forth. And he's an open book. Like he's a lot of, hey, don't say this on air type shit. But he's a great Goldberg is like a friend. And some of the fighters like guys like Jordan Levitt and Chris Curtis is super cool. Like there are certain guys that I like love. Ben Rothwell is like the coolest motherfucker. Yeah, they're really cool athletes that we've kind of befriended along the way.
And these guys now, when you go to these matches and stuff, do all these guys recognize you when you go in the building and stuff?
Yeah, when we used to do, so when we were in New York, it was great. Like when we would show up at CES, like when people would ask for pictures, it's like, bro, like, I mean, are you kidding me? We do a dumb YouTube channel, it's silly and stupid. But yeah, at events, like when we used to do a lot of CES stuff, it was fantastic, and we got treated like royalty at CES. They would put us like in the front of the media. They would let us set up a booth where we could sell merch and shit. They were great. CES, they were fantastic.
And how's your merch doing?
It's all right, man. Like we teamed up with Millions, and we're gonna try to do a whole thing with them as well with merch. It's not like these other YouTubers that are killing it with merch. Merch is just like whatever, it's a couple bucks here and there.
And people, I just want to let you know that I have Maz's below this video. I have your link to your stuff.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
When's your next show?
We'll be live. What's today? We'll be live tomorrow, Friday night. We're gonna do what we call Fook Off Friday, and it's like a circus. We have people donate a lot of stuff. We play a game, we spin a wheel, we talk about fights, and it's just all over the place.
Really? Okay.
Angel, stop by. Everyone,
I am.
It'll be a great time. But listen,
Where
guys,
where do you see your show going? I mean, do you have like a bigger plan here, or are you happy where you are?
So listen, when I started, it was like, let's hit 100K and then that's fun. I'm getting tattoos down my back all the way to 100K. Like the 100K is gonna be the tramp stamp in my lower back over here.
That's so funny.
But that's the goal. Like everything else is gonna be gravy. So like I just want to hit 100K, and that's like, okay, we get the fun plaque, and that's it. We'll see where it goes from there. But we've made amazing connections. I've been able to support my family with it, and it's just fun, like I'm just going along for the ride. So I'm hoping that once our website launches in October, that's going to be where we can make more passive income, and I don't have to constantly be grinding on this YouTube.
Right.
So yeah, and once the website's going and we have more passive income, we want to open up the wallets and have a full staff. Like we only have a couple of people that helps us out behind the scenes. I want like legit Howard Stern shit. I want a fucking producer. I want like Whack Pack. I want everything, So that's what we're looking to go.
That's it. Well, that's pretty good to hear that, because I think you guys are hilarious. And
thank you.
I prefer you. You save me a lot of money. I'll be honest with you. I don't even spend money on fights no more because of you and your wife.
That's a compliment.
I say that because it's like the old time feel of the radio call, the fight on the radio. And it's great unless you let Goldberg call the fights, and then I don't want to watch because Goldberg, God almighty.
I just had that conversation with him. I'm like, when we bring you back, it's like radio style commentary. I told him, I'm like, is it not weird that I got to tell Mike Goldberg, I got to tell him, this is not how you call a fight. It's the most fucked up conversation to ever have. Because this is the voice of the octagon. And I'm telling him, hey, man, we got to do it a certain way, because our chat was literally lighting him on fire that night.
Yes.
I know exactly.
Yeah, and your wife, your poor wife, was there announcing the fight, and he kept cutting her off. I'm like, I don't want to hear you, dude.
Yeah. She was a hero that night, an absolute hero. But Mike's a great guy. And when we get him back on, it's going to be a whole different experience for sure. Dude, when he walked into my house, I'm like, this is Mike Goldberg. I'm like, what is he doing in my home? Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. But it's YouTube. Like, YouTube opens up so many doors. So, like, it's so much fun to do.
Goldberg was there when Spike started, right? Goldberg, him, Rogan, right?
Man, he was there from, like, pretty much the beginning, man. Yeah. Goldberg is, like, this guy was there before Rogan. Like, Goldberg was, like, I don't know, man. It's crazy how they let him go. It really is. They didn't even give him a send off. They just said, "All right, see you later." And he was gone.
I wish they let Cormier go.
Me too, man.
When that guy announces the fight, you know who he's going for 1 minute into the fight.
Yeah, I like DC as a fighter. Always a fan of DC as a fighter, but as a commentator, I don't know, man.
I like, when I like DC when he got put up against the ropes. And he got knocked out with the body shots. That was my favorite. Or when he got hit in the head with the kick by Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved watching him wobbling all over the place.
That I got ripped apart so bad because I was a DC dick rider, man. Like I love DC. And when he got fucking head kicked, dude, the whole chat bent me over. They just filleted me, and I deserved it because I talked so much shit. Dude, when I had John Jones on. And when John Jones came on, I told him, I was like, yo, I'm a big DC fan, and he fucking was like deuces, and he for me, I loved DC. I was a big fan of him, but now I get it, man. His commentary is kind of ass.
So were you surprised when the firemen beat up on him like that?
Stipe?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. A lot of people thought when DC won, he was lucky. Jesse was one of them. Thought DC was a little lucky in that fight. I don't think so. But when Stipe, Stipe's a beast. He's the best heavyweight of all time, still in my opinion.
And I'm talking about Jesse. What do you think of Jesse on Fire?
I am friendly with him, but I've done shows with him. He's not my cup of tea content wise. Too much Adderall and steroids. But
clickbaiting.
He's like TMZ, man, but it works. What do you do? It works.
It sure does.
Listen, back in the day, I probably would have just literally just shit on him and roasted him. But now I have a family, and when I talk to him, he's actually behind the scenes a fucking good. He's a solid dude. He's a real with a lot of connections. Dude that has this guy's got Chael Sonnen on speed dial.
That's what I've heard. A lot of connections.
Yeah, he sucks a lot.
Speaking about Chael Sonnen, what do you think of him?
I think Chael's killing it, man. Like, yo,
Chael?
When I met Chael, he called me the MMA hose. That's what he called us.
Yeah.
I love the scenario when he beat those guys all up at the same time. How many guys did he beat up that night at one time? Was it
and like in front of his girl, like his wife? Like he's like, hold on, honey, hold my beer, and then beat the fuck out of these guys.
Like 8 of them.
Put them all to sleep.
What's that like? Tony, I feel like Tony's done that. Tony seems like the type of guy back in the day that's handled business like that.
No.
Tony would like to handle that business on here with some of these trolls.
I bet. Yeah,
we trying to work something out.
I wouldn't mess with Tony, man.
Tony's trying to get him in the ring right now.
Well, listen, guys, man, I didn't even realize I've been on here for 2 hours.
You gave us 2 hours of your time, Maz. It's so appreciated. Angel likes it. A matter of fact, she wants your digits.
Come on.
It was such a pleasure. I really enjoyed this tonight.
Yes.
Me too.
You're a real
really
nice guy,
did.
buddy. Thank you.
She's going to call you on your phone, Maz, and talk to you even slower.
You don't understand. When we took that picture with your brother, I was bragging about that to everybody. I'm like, I'm in.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you.
It was the coolest thing. When we saw him in the hallway passing by and he kind of remembered us, I was like, this is the best. I'm like, he knows who we are. I don't think he knows who we are.
That's so nice.
And now Angel Gotti, the real toughest one in the family, knows who you are.
Come on.
Let me tell you something, Maz. You ever got a problem? Just look at the one who's above you right now. Should take care of it.
No.
Forget about
Without a doubt. I could take a nap. I could take a nap and get beat up all day. She's already got it under control. It's the truth.
I'm sorry.
No, it's the truth. Angel takes care of everybody. Even you know that, Lee.
Well, see, I think Maz stays on. See, I think what you're doing, Maz, is pretty slick right now. You're trying to avoid the children. So you figure by staying on here, your poor wife.
Jesse's like, make sure you get to bed early tonight.
Okay. When they're sleeping. No,
it's been a pleasure, Lee. I appreciate you having me on here. And Angel, it's an honor. You got a legendary family, and it's much respect, and you're a sweetheart. You really are.
Thank you so much, and so are you. Thank you, and it was an honor to be on here with you. Thank you.
And
Appreciate
Maz,
it.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to, but I really did.
Awesome. That means a lot to me. It's really cool. YouTube has put me in these scenarios, meeting like the coolest people, and you're on that list as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
All right,
say goodnight to your beautiful wife.
I will.
And Maz, whatever you do, if you want to stand on our good side, never interview John A. Light.
I don't even know who that is, to be honest.
Keep it that way, Maz.
Okay. John A. Light.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you guys. Have a great night, okay?
Maz,
so much,
I had
Maz.
a great conversation with you.
Bye-bye.
Same. Take care, Tony.
Bye-bye, buddy.
Good night. I really enjoyed that.
He gave us
You're a great guy.
There's a man that gave us 2 hours of his time, and
That was great.
and he has
Kelly, you're right. what you said before. You're right. I feel that my nephew really should. He's going to get a big payday. Maybe he should just like do what he's
Do
got to
it the way
do.
you exactly.
Retire. He's going to get
Couple
a
of more
really
fights.
big
Couple
payday.
of more fights, but he doesn't need bare knuckle. There's so much money in what John's doing right now.
Yeah,
Lee,
I like knuckle.
he doesn't need it. But Lee, I want to personally thank you for tonight. Thank you very much. And James, thank you.
And I had a great time, people. I'm gonna let you guys go.
Thank
James,
you.
are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay, guys. So Boston, Tony Silo, thank
you,
you.
Adam.
Angel Gotti, thank you. And I'll
Thank
close it out with James.
you.
Later,
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Take care,
Thank you.
people.
Good night, everybody. And thank
Good
you
night.
so much, everyone.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you, Angel.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
James, you hardly had to say anything.
No, it was very interesting. So I thought it was a great show, and
I love the way Maz came on and just took the show over.
no, it was all good.
I mean,
Maz.
that's the perfect guest.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes you'll get guests that you don't even know, what you're going to say or anything. And he just comes on and he takes it over. We had a nice amount of people in here for quite a while. And,
Yeah, of course.
and it's our first live in a while. We're going to do more of these. And you gave $25. It got sent to Angel. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. So,
Okay.
yeah, BK so he got the 25, but then he gave us $25, and then he said just give the 25 to Angel. So it's kind of like a white elephant gift, I guess. Kept on giving.
Well, people, I'd like to thank you all. Oh, wait, before I leave. Okay, wait a minute. I forgot to do this. Please subscribe to our show. Please hit the like if you haven't hit the like. We'd really appreciate it. Let's see what we got in likes right now. We have, come on, guys, 80 likes. Come on, hit that like before you get out of here. Okay, but thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. It didn't seem like we had too much problem with trolls tonight, which was nice. You guys with the wrenches did a great job. So thank you so much. And we'll be seeing you with another live soon. But we really, really enjoyed doing this live. Take care, people.
Thank you.